Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for GRE. We have been solving GRE math problems out of this book here, the official guide to the revised GRE, the second edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 163. Please turn to it, page 163. And today is our lesson number 292. Page 163, problem number 6. Let's take a look at it. Problem number 6 that you see there on page 163 is the exact same problem that appeared in the first edition of the revised GRE. We have already solved all the problems from the first edition. We're just redoing them right now. If you're interested in watching the original solution, you will find it on day number 73. Day 73 is when we solve the same exact problem. It says, in 2008, the value of export was approximately what percentage greater than the value of imports? Alright, so in 2008, they're asking us value of exports was approximately what percentage greater than imports? Well, in 2008, if you look at the chart there, the graph there on page number 162, we'll see that the exports, you'll find that in 2008, the exports were 12 billion or 12 million, whatever the unit happens to be. In 2008, it is 12 billion. 2008, 12 billion, the solid line. And then on the dotted line, the import they show us is 5 billion. There is a difference of 7. The question is, in 2008, the value of export is approximately how much greater? It is greater by 7. So the question simply now is, 7 is what percent of 5? Because imports were 5, so 7 is what percentage of 5? The value of the export, the question is not the value of the export is what percentage of the value of import. That's not the question. They're not asking you value of the export is what percentage of the value of import. In that case, the question would have been 12 is what percentage of 5. The question here is how much is it greater? It is greater by 7. So the question is 7 is how much greater? 7 is what percentage of 5? There are two ways we can go about it. One way is a very straightforward way, is to realize that 7 is simply 5 plus 1 plus 1. 5 of course is 100% of 5, and 1 out of 5, 1 is 20%. 1 is a fifth of a 5, 1 is a fifth of a 5, which is 20%, and then another 20%. So the answer is 140%. The value of export is 140% greater than the value of imports. The value of export is 140% greater than the value of imports. In other words, for every $1 of imports that we have, we export $1.40 more than the $1. In other words, we export $2.40 for every $1 that we import. We export $2.40. Anyway, so it's 140%. Another way we could have gone about it is a more of a traditional way, which is to set it up as an equation, which is like this: 7 is means equals, what is our unknown, percent means over 100. Percent means exactly per 100, over 100. So 7 is what is our unknown, percent means over 100, of means times, of means times or multiply. 5, that's it, and just solve for x. In which case you multiply both sides by 100, so x ends up being 7 times 100 over 5 and divide top and bottom by 5, we get 20. 7 times 20 is 140. And it's before. You're making too much fuss about not really much here at all. That's it, the answer is 140. Let's do the next one. Number 7. Number 7 is something that we did on day number 74. In number 7, they go on to tell us that if it were discovered that the value of import shown for 2007 was in fact incorrect and should have been $5 billion instead of $5 billion instead of the amount that they show us, then the question is, in that case, the average value of the imports per year for the 10 year that is shown to us would have been approximately how much lower? That's all. So the correct value of the import, they're telling us the correct value of import for 2007 was $5 billion. The question now is the average over the 10-year period is how much off? Well, let's find out what they actually show. Us. They're telling us that the actual value is 5 billion. Let's find out what the actual value that is shown in the graph for 2007 for imports. For 2007, you'll see that the imports is being shown as 7 billion. So here's the solution. The value shown is $7 billion. We are off by $2 billion to be spread over a 10-year period. To be spread over a 10-year period, amount of $2 billion would be off by. It should have been 5 billion, but the graph shows us that it's 7 billion. So that extra 2 billion that we are off by has to be spread over a 10-year period, because that's the period we're talking about. Therefore, the average is going to be off by the $2 billion that we have spread over 10 years. And that $2 billion, of course, this amount of $2 billion, of course, is same as $2,000 million over 10 years. And 2,000 divided by 10 is $200 million per year. The question was, the average over the 10-year period is going to be off by how much amount? And the answer is, the average import over the 10-year period is off by $200 million per year, because we are off by a total of $2 billion. 2 billion spread over 10 years is $2,000 million divided by 10 is $200 million per year. That's all. I'll see you tomorrow. We're done with these questions. I'll see you tomorrow, where we'll begin the problems that you will see that begin on page number 293. Alright? I'll see you then. Bye now.